what did it mean for you to come to Harvard?
It meant success. It meant like everyone was excited.
It was a dream to me to come here.
I smiled and then laughed and then I was kind of speechless.
These students are among the top 3% of applicants who got into Harvard. Now their opportunity to study here is in jeopardy.
My visa could be gone like next minute and I'll have to leave. And I don't know what I'm gonna do in my future.
The Trump administration has made several attempts to ban visas for Harvard's international students that the university is challenging in court.
These students have become proxies, if you will, in a culture war.
Newly admitted students abroad are stuck, unable to enter the US.
Do you feel like your belief or perception that the US is the best place for higher education has really changed because of this?
Oh, this is a tough question.
So we're on Harvard's campus. It's summertime, so it's relatively quiet here. And it's been extremely difficult to find international students willing to speak with us because years of their hard work and resources they poured into coming to an elite university like this could be taken away in a moment. But we have managed to find a few students who are willing to share their stories with us.
Dandi Tilahun is one of the few Ethiopian students at Harvard. He chose to stay on campus for the summer, fearing he might not be allowed back into the US if he left to see his family.
Everyone's really scared, shocked. My international friends back home are also kind of terrified because they were hoping to return.
Growing up in Kenya, Dandi had to overcome countless obstacles to secure a spot at Harvard, which offered a full scholarship covering his entire tuition.
I don't come from a family that has money. The only way for me to access education was to excel at education.
The US has long been the top destination for higher education, with millions of international students competing to access advanced research and opportunities rarely available in their home countries.
I want to get into computer architecture. I couldn't do that in Africa because the universities in Africa don't have enough and profound infrastructures and labs. That's also why you see a lot of research being done here at Harvard.
Dandi says he let go of opportunities to study at other universities in Canada to attend Harvard.
Now you just hear oh, that just could have been wrong. I don't know. You also don't have any control over it.
Dandi is one of Harvard's nearly 7,000 international students who are anxiously following the university's standoff against the government. They make up more than a quarter of the entire student population. Trump has blamed Harvard for tolerating what it calls anti-Semitism amid the pro-Palestinian protests that have swept college campuses. Students across the country have been arrested, and hundreds have had their visas revoked for their involvement in the movement. Now, the administration is pushing for tighter control over international student admissions and academic oversight.
Harvard has to show us their lists. They have foreign students. We want to know where those students come. Are they troublemakers?
When Harvard refused to comply, the government cut billions of federal funding in research and targeted international students, a major source of revenue for the university.
Why do you think the Trump administration is going after international students in particular?
Because they are a target of convenience, a vehicle for xenophobia and racism.
Brooks says the Trump administration is using Harvard as an example in its campaign against diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI initiatives.
They're looking for an Ivy League college to capitulate and agree to some anti-DEI initiative. So in other words, they're looking for symbolic victory.
Every student, let them stay.
Every student, let them stay.
Our efforts to preserve academic freedom and our insistence that no government should dictate what we teach, who we admit and hire, were welcomed and applauded around the world.
I feel like we're kind of being used as pawns. I've not broken the law or I haven't done anything. I'm just here studying.
The legal battle has left newly admitted students in limbo. This incoming student from South Asia says they were offered a full scholarship to Harvard. We spoke to the student after their appointment at the US Embassy, where their visa application was deferred for further processing. We have altered their voice and protected their identity due to the student's pending visa case.
How did your visa appointment go?
I'm expected to wait until 1 or 2 months just to know if I will get the visa or not. But when I do take a gap year in that case and have to reapply, I will strongly consider against applying to the United States. This is happening to Harvard. It can happen to another university some other day.
Why couldn't you go to a university in your country or in other countries in Asia?
It's challenging because in my country, ironically, there's a lot of political interference. But unfortunately, I think that has carried over and we're facing a worse situation, in fact.
With the uncertainty new students face, many are reluctant to recommend U.S. colleges to foreign students.
To other international students who may be watching this, what would you say to them? What is your advice to them?
I would say this will come to pass, but as it stands right now, I can't tell him to pick Harvard and come here. And then what if he shows up to the embassy and they tell him, no, you're not going? That's gonna be like one very smart, dedicated person not living up to his full potential.
I'd ask applicants to really consider about where they are applying and how politics or other influences have an effect on what they're trying to take advantage of. That said, I'd also say that opportunities do exist elsewhere.
Do you remember the first time you came in here and how you felt?
I think it was very exciting to see people actually working here, like exciting projects that they were working on, and also like there's like, imposter syndrome, right?
Among international students at Harvard, those from China make up the largest number. They're under added pressure as the State Department claims it's aggressively revoking their visas, accusing Harvard of cooperating with the Chinese Communist Party.
How do you feel when you see that they are focusing so much on Chinese students as a national security threat?
And I think most of the Chinese students here are really just here to, pursuing their academic freedom. We have already been screened before we come here. So I'm not sure why this crackdown is still happening.
For Zilin, studying in the US meant more than academic freedom. It was also a safe place to express himself freely.
Being here, you can, wave this fan, right, without people staring at you. We just want to be treated equally and do our research.
Inside Harvard's classrooms, Professor Brooks says Trump's attacks are already having a chilling effect.
It has affected the classroom because students are afraid of speaking up in class, lest anything that they say be reported to the authorities, taken out of context.
Do you feel like Harvard is fighting a losing legal battle here? What is the end of this?
There's some battles you quite simply have to win, because you would essentially have an autocrat as the micromanager of the oldest university, the wealthiest university, and one of the most powerful universities in the world. From the vantage point of democracy, not Harvard, that is both untenable and unconscionable.
You are one of the few who are willing to talk to us. Can you tell us what made you decide to speak up about this? And are you feeling scared right now?
Yeah, I am very scared right now, actually sweating. I'm not against any of the administration. I feel like people should know. At least this is like the situation that we were kind of in and how we felt.
The State Department has said it is ramping up screening of applicants' social media accounts before approving visas.
And I understand the international students not coming out to speak because they could be picked on. They also fear, what if they say something that might provoke the government?
When I have the capability, we should make our noises heard. And it is one of the ways that international students, or I could make a difference to help my own community. I'm also seeing that, there's lawyers and people that are supporting me, right? Supporting the international students. So that gave me encouragement.
So the Harvard campus today is closed off because it's Alumni Day, And look, because so many current and incoming international students are afraid to advocate for themselves publicly right now, a lot of these alumni are telling us that they're going to be stepping up and making noise on their behalf.
We have the ability and we have the voice to be able to speak for them because their futures are on the line. Granted, the futures of all of America is on the line. It is our moral duty to not only protect them, but also protect higher education writ large.
Over 1 million international students contributed $43 billion to the economy in 1 year alone. But students say the country is now losing a key pillar of its global significance.
America is like the peak of like democracy. That's how kind of like pictured it. And now it just feels like it's disappearing. You fear being a student here. Like, I don't know. It's like I don't want to go, and I also fear like what's gonna happen to me like if I stay here.
Right now, I think the American dream exists anywhere and everywhere in the same degree that it does in the United States.
Even as Harvard engages in a protracted legal fight against the government, foreign students are determined not to let the policies hinder their aspirations.
I am still motivated despite all of this, because this is just how life is, and I'll have to continue, find other ways. And there's a whole community that's supporting us. And I think there's still other ways to do what I want to do.
All I want is study, get my degrees, accolades, and continue with my academic pursuits in life.